今天老李我换个角度，我以 podcast 方式回答之前粉丝在评论区留下的一些问题。我也请了一位我多年好友达姐跟我一起回答。达姐是某厂的 Principal Product Manager， 我们俩从第二语言者、母语者跟她女性的视角来回答这些粉丝关于职场的问题。整个 podcast 分为上下两部，那我们就进入正题。
If we mess up, you can just edit it out, right?
No.
Yes, you can.
This is a live stream.
Can't be like, wow, fail.
Yeah.
You just failed your interview.
There's actually a satellite somewhere.
Sounds terrible.
All right, let's start with the questions I got from the followers. I've noticed senior level colleagues often crack a quick joke, make an inside joke, or use a bit of self-deprecation when they speak or answer questions. And everyone immediately gets it and laughs. We meaning like immigrants, can usually never react that quickly. Even for native English-speaking Asians, you rarely see that kind of humor. How do I deal with it?
I think this happens in a couple different ways. Either it's a pop culture reference, so like something relevant that's going on that people make a joke about, or it's based on commonality in the history of like length of time people have worked together.
Yeah.
That one can be trickier because you haven't been around to know what they're talking about. So I think sometimes if appropriate, like if it's before the meeting has started, you can ask like, oh, is there a funny story? Wait, what happened? And sometimes people want to tell you the story and like bring you into the joke.
Like, do you have certain tricks you kind of blend yourself into that conversation?
Sometimes I think it's a fake it type of approach. Like you just laugh as if you know what the joke is.
Okay.
So you can kind of pick up on maybe different contexts, cues and clues. Or like I was saying, sometimes I just ask like, wait, what happened at last year all hands? And then someone will tell the joke.
What if they tell you something and you still have no clue what they're talking about?
I think pretend. I think I've pretended before that I understand.
Just fake it until you make it type of thing.
Yeah.
And just let it go if you still don't get it.
Yeah, because it's not that important. It's more about like the commonality and the similarity of like participating in the discussion and like showing that you're interested in what people are talking about.
I feel like it's mostly people put too much emphasis on it. Mm-hmm. You don't have to understand every single word, every single conversation they had.
Well, even if you take out language and dialect, if you just look at different teams of people, like there could be a meeting where engineers are speaking about something and it's in English and maybe, you know, Joe doesn't understand and it's not something that you can't either fake it or just ask for them to elaborate on.
Yeah. You feel almost excluded from the conversation, like from the small circle. Mm-hmm. It puts some pressure on your mind that later on what's going to happen. Like, are they going to exclude me for like infinity? Or at what point am I going to be able to break into the circle and, you know, start having conversation?
Yeah.
Do you feel like when that happens among guys, you have a hard time or harder time blending in?
Not really, but I think common interest-wise, there's themes. Like sports are usually a topic that get brought up. I pay attention to those things or like try to understand if it's reoccurring where it's always the same group of people and you notice like, let's use sports as an example. They're always talking about their fantasy football team or last week who won what game. If you're really invested in building relationships, you can spend maybe 10 minutes on Monday morning looking into those things, be able to add to the discussion, or if you just show like general curiosity. But no, with men, I don't think it's typically topics that I don't understand or like need clarification on. It's sometimes more of like a click that's harder to infiltrate. But I think that can go both ways.
There was an episode like when Taylor Swift was invited to New Heights and she was asking Travis about, you know, what if Travis and Jason play against each other on the field? Like, what will happen? And Travis is like, it will never happen. Like, it doesn't work in that way in football. And Taylor was like, oh, okay, you guys never watch football.
Their positions will never play against each other,
I think sports is one, because American football is just is so unique to the U.S. Baseball to some extent too.
maybe basketball would be
Basketball
easier.
is more common,
Yeah.
like in different continents. Like watching a sports center maybe for 10 minutes is going to help to pick up some of those.
Yeah, and I think in saying that, my point is just that it's not as hard as it might seem to find a way to contribute to the conversation.
Yeah.
But I do think there's a caveat where sometimes the pre-meeting or, you know, morning coffee chat is a conversation you don't want to be involved in. Like, I think sometimes, like, let's say the inside joke is something that might be like inappropriate, or speaking about somebody that's not in the room, or, you know, talking about how a last meeting or presentation went poorly. Like, those are things too where I think you kind
Toxic.
where it's okay to stay out of it. But if it's something friendly, family related, sports, how was your weekend, or maybe a TikTok reference of something that's going viral, then I think that's...
When you run into those more like toxic conversations that you just found yourself in it, either you're being pulled into a meeting or you just happen to overhear it, what do you do?
In my experience working for large corporations, the expectation is that you say something if you witness that behavior, but I don't think that's always realistic and practical. Like, what if I'm the most junior person in the room or the newest person? So I think not engaging will also give like a communication and a signal that that's not conversation you want to participate in. And usually people take the hint, I think. I mean, you used to practice that at work, where you just wouldn't respond and people would get the hint.
Will not disclose like any related things.